Hello everybody, this is City Scrapper. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I have a layout that I made using the February My Creative Scrapbook limited edition kit. This month the kit featured elements from the Blue Fern Studios Passages collection, and I really love this collection. What I'm doing now is I'm showing you how I took a sheet of the pattern paper and I used it to cut out some basically ephemera. And if you're not interested, you could skip ahead to the video. But I just kind of wanted to show you how you could use this paper and have basically a whole set of ephemera that you could add to your pages. And even though there are items that overlap, and a lot of the images that I cut out have like little pieces taken out of them, or they're not complete images, it didn't matter because when they were layered, they worked out perfectly. So I just kind of wanted to show you how I did this and just give you that idea, because I did get a whole lot of use out of these pieces that I cut out. There were maybe one or two pieces that I didn't end up using, but the vast majority of them ended up on my pages for this month. And these pieces, together with the ephemera pack that came in the kit, gave me a lot of options to use on my pages. And I thought this collection was really versatile. I love the way it looked. I love the colors, the pink and the blue and the yellow. But I also really liked the way I was able to use it for travel pages, which is what it was intended for. But also I used it for a graduation page and one page that I made for a beach photo. So there was really a lot that could be done with it. There's also a lot of tickets on these pages, so you'll see in this layout and in some of the other layouts that I make this month, I do use a lot of the tickets that were in the kit. Now I'm using this large scallop punch, and I am punching this piece of paper. It kind of hurt a little bit to punch this piece of paper, I can't lie. I kind of wanted to use this as a background for one of my layouts, but I had to use some of the papers for my layouts. So this was the one that I thought I could get a lot of use out of because it had some flowers on it and it also had this really pretty blue pattern, but it wasn't super patterned. It kind of looks like it's a solid. So now I am using that piece that I just punched out as almost like a little shelf for all of the ephemera that I'm layering on there. And you could see that some of the items are items that I just cut out. This photo was taken in Philadelphia. I think it was taken in like Ben Franklin's. There's like a square there that had a home that Ben Franklin had lived in. And this photo was taken in that spot. And there's a little ticket there on the left. You can see there's a blue ticket and it says something about like the Philadelphia Express on it. And so it's kind of a detail that probably nobody else would notice, but I really liked that it said that on there. So this is the basic format that I'm going to use. I have the horizontal piece that is the scallop, and then I'm going to have that banner that is the vertical piece. This is a technique that I've been using. I don't know if you call it a technique, but it's something I've been doing for a while. I've been attaching all of my elements to a piece of plain white cardstock, and then once all the elements are attached, I can kind of move it around and create the background that I want based on what I've already made with the embellishments. Here I'm using a thin strip that's probably a branding strip, and I'm just distressing it as much as possible, cutting little pieces off and roughing it up with my scissors because I wanted that to go along the bottom. At first I had tried cutting a scallop out of it, but there really wasn't enough of it to make that scallop design, and then I thought maybe there would be too much of that same idea in the same place, so the scallop pattern. So then I am really roughing it up. Now that I've glued it down, I just really wanted to look distressed. Now I am using this dauber and this Tim Holtz Distress Oxide ink in black soot, and I am going to go around and ink the edges of the papers that are on the page, all the little ephemera pieces, and I even pulled this back up again because I wanted to ink the edges of this little strip of paper as well. And the edges of the paper, you can see there on the paper and also on the journaling card, which there was a pack of journaling cards in this kit as well. They're bordered in black, and there's a lot of black accents on the pages, so I thought black was the perfect color to ink all the edges with. Here I'm adding a piece of ribbon from my stash. And now I'm going to go back in again, and I'm going to layer everything again. I didn't have enough of that greenish paper to make a complete banner, but it was fine. As you could see, I just used a piece of white paper and I put the colored paper on the bottom and the top, and it's white where you can't see it. I'm going back in now and I am reforming those clusters that I had before, and you could see that I did already ink the edges of a lot of those pieces, but anything that I didn't ink, I do go in there with my dauber and I make sure that it's inked. I attach everything down with ATG adhesive. And I'm just adding another little ticket back there, and then I use my scissors to cut off the extra cardstock that isn't covered by either the ephemera or those cutout pieces. And there's a card there with a little girl on it holding an umbrella, and it says, "For the tourist," and I just love that card. There was a little one of them was in the ephemera pack, and one of them was in the sheet that I cut apart, and I used both of them on my layouts. I just think that it's so cute and so perfect for travel. I traced around my embellishments and my photo because I wanted to use some white gesso on the background. These sheets are so gorgeous that I didn't find the need to do a lot of mixed media as far as like sprays and things like that in the background, because the backgrounds are already as nice as I could ever make with mixed media. So I just wanted to put a little bit of a white haze around all the embellishments and my photo. So I just took my finger and I just squished in a little bit of white gesso, and the paper is very smooth, so it was very easy to do that, to smooth around the gesso on this particular paper. It's almost like it was like a little laminated. Not that really shiny lamination, but it was definitely thick, and I don't know, something about it was extremely smooth. Now I did want to add a little bit of modeling paste. I don't know if I can make a layout without adding some kind of mixed media to the background. So I mixed together some white stencil paste and some modeling paste, and I'm just adding a little kind of halo of modeling paste, not too much. I'm using a stencil that was in a previous My Creative Scrapbook kit. I'm getting to have a nice collection of stencils from those kits. This is a Vicky Bouton stencil, and it's looks like a city map, so I thought it was a good idea to use on a travel layout. And then once I did that, I took some old, like the chipboard. Once you've used all the pieces, there's the packaging for it, I guess you could call it. And I just save that. I throw it in a drawer with my adhesive foam, and I thought, oh, that's perfect to pop up this large cluster a little bit. So I attach that to the background. And now I'm starting to attach some of the flowers that come in the kit. This month they were Prima flowers. And I'm just double checking to make sure that everything is straight. So initially I attached the flowers down using the ATG adhesive, but that has to be changed later on. I have to add some glue or some gel medium to keep them attached to the page. But I just do that initially just so I know where things are going. I found these self-adhesive pearls in my stash, and I thought that they were a great size to use on this scalloped border. Kind of makes it look like a banner. And now I took out my box that has all of my leaves that I've cut out using my leaf dies. And I feel like I add these to almost every page. So when I'm not in the mood to scrapbook, I will often just cut out a bunch of leaves from scrap papers that I have, and then I have them ready to go. Here I am gluing down those flowers using the heavy duty gel medium, and I attach any flowers and anything that's not already adhered using that. Now here I use some of the gel medium to also attach some of those white pearls in different sizes all around the layout. My head was kind of in the way, so I didn't show too much of that, but I put those pearls in several different places around the layout. Now this chipboard came in the kit. I primed it with white gesso, and now I'm going back in and I am painting this one title that says Rome. I'm painting it black, and I end up changing my mind about making it black. I just thought it looked just too weighty on this layout. It's such light, bright colors, and I ended up just going back and painting it white again. And I ended up liking the white much better. I also went in with some pink and some of that bluish, greenish color, and I just dabbed on with the sponge. You could see that sponge on the right. I just dabbed on a little of the color to the gesso chipboard. I edge each of the pieces of chipboard in the black soot distress oxide like I did everything else. And then I did put some clear embossing powder on top, and I heat embossed all 3 pieces. And luckily this collection has like some yellowish tones in there because it ended up looking a little yellowish. The clear embossing powder wasn't totally clear, but I was okay with that because you could see like there's that antiqued look on the bottom of that piece of paper there. And so I was fine with it, but I also did go in and I put a little bit of white gesso on each of the chipboard pieces, and I feel like that made it look good as well. Now I am making a little card base for that chipboard, and I thought that was the perfect place to put the black because it's just a touch of black instead of that whole title being black. And this is where I go back in with the heat embossing, and I do like the way it looks shiny, but I would kind of like mixed feelings on how it looked a little bit yellowish. But I'm using this dauber that is adhesive, and I'm using some of this, I believe that's Moxie clear embossing powder. And overall, I really liked the way the chipboard looked with the different colors dabbed on it. So here you could see I'm just heat embossing. It's kind of hard to see the shininess that it gives it, but it does give it a nice shine. So now I am attaching everything down. I'm really happy with the way that compass looks right in that spot. I feel like it just adds a nice little detail. And I had to use some foam tape to pop up some of it so that when I laid it down on top of the photo, it sat correctly. It wasn't on an angle. And I just used some ATG adhesive to attach that little chipboard piece. Now I'm going around with some Bow Bunny pink enamel dots, and I'm adding them to the banner, and I added them to the compass as well. And I thought those added a nice touch. And then I also like to add something to the title. I don't like to leave the title totally unembellished, so I got one of the flowers that's in the kit and some of those leaves and just arrange those. Now I'm going around. It's hard to see what I'm doing here. I am putting some heavy duty white gesso all around the layout. I'm putting on the flowers. I'm putting on the chipboard pieces, and I'm putting it on the ephemera and the embellishments as well. Just going around, putting it a little dab of it everywhere. And I feel like that brings nice cohesion to the whole layout. And here you could see the heavy gesso that I used. Now I'm covering up my photo with a piece of plastic, and I'm putting some white splatters all around the embellishments, and just trying to concentrate them for the most part on the embellishments and the flowers. And here's my favorite little touch. I'd like to add some photo corners. So I cut those out of a journaling card that I had used a piece of. And now I'm adding a little pearl to both of those photo corners and gluing down some of those elements that I had placed on there but hadn't attached. And that completes the layout, everybody. Please head on over to the My Creative Scrapbook website. Their link is in the description box, and you can check out all the beautiful kits that they have available this month. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope that you will give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much to my current subscribers. I hope that everybody has a fantastic day, and I will be back with another video again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.